So hey, what's up guys, Rybucks here and welcome to a brand new video, and this time we are taking a look at the brand new gameplay which Milestone have released earlier this morning, and it is more MotoGP 20 gameplay. And this gameplay video is actually the historic riders and tracks sort of feature in the game. So this is our first look at the historic content. Now the historic content has been in previous MotoGP games. It's never had a huge presence. It's definitely got a bigger and bigger presence as the games have gone on, but its presence seems to be sort of more promoted this year. It started to look that way last year as well, but it looks like we've got that content coming back, which we knew already from what Milestone have told us. So there's a renewed historical mode in the game. And if I'm reading off the website, it says the history of the MotoGP is certainly made of epic moments, but it's the challenge that turned the great champions of the past into legends. This year we designed a game mode with different race challenges, randomly generated, race and win to unlock new riders and new motorcycles, but careful not to miss the rarest bikers, collect them all. Test the new physics, most powerful bikes in the history of the top class of the sport. So I mean, it looks like there's more focus this year, and like it said, randomly generated games and challenges, so it looks like you're going to have to come back and keep playing this, and by the sounds of it you're going to unlock more historic riders, more historic tracks by doing these challenges. So in the past you've just had to sort of complete them, but I don't know, I might be getting the wrong impression here, but it sounds like from what that says is that these challenges are going to come and go, and you're going to need to complete them within that time to unlock those riders and stuff. So sounds pretty cool. Hopefully it can keep the historic content relevant, whereas it was sort of relevant at the launch game of last year, but then it died off very quickly through the year. But let's talk a bit about this gameplay. So this is more MotoGP 20 gameplay, obviously the historic content. As you can see from the top left, it's the 4 strokes, and it looks to me to be, well, it's definitely Ducati, and it looks to be Casey Stoner. And one thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's who I think it is. And also, I don't know about you guys, but the bike looks a bit small. I mean, were these bikes smaller than the current gen MotoGP bikes? I think they were slightly. So to get that little bit of realism, maybe it's just the fact that he's a big rider, but I don't really think Stoner's that big of a rider anyway. But let me know if you noticed that as well. But the physics looking good. It looks similar physics to last year, but like I've said in these previous videos, that the physics look to be improved. But until I get my hands on the game, I couldn't tell you for sure. But there's some similarities there. You notice that the front end wants to pop up a lot like it does on this year's game, so it looks like I'm going to have to continue to manage that front end and stop it weaving if we can. Like, we're suffering a lot at the minute in our modded career mode, so looks like we're going to have to continue with that. But obviously it's more realistic, because you can't just ride a bike and it just not, like the front end just not flick up. You really have to control that with throttle management, stuff like that. But we'll probably be upgrading anti-wheelie in MotoGP 20 as well. We can also see in the bottom right the new tyre system. So there was a gameplay video last week about the new tyre system, so I'm going to do a video on that probably tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I'll talk a bit more about that in the next video about that gameplay. But yeah, the graphics looking good as well. Obviously we're here at Laguna Seca, so historic tracks returning as well with the historic riders and bikes. So hopefully they add a bit more variety of them as well. They've got a huge roster of historic bikes, obviously got 2 strokes and stuff like that, and historic riders as well, huge roster. So hopefully that full roster will be returning with more riders as well, so that'd be good. So I think that's going to end off the video here. I'll leave the gameplay in the background for a couple more minutes so you can hear that with the raw footage. But that's been it from me. I hope you have enjoyed this gameplay. If you are excited for MotoGP 20, let me know down below in the comments. So do make sure you subscribe to my channel if you are excited for some more MotoGP 20 content. The game obviously being released just under a month away now, so stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one.